Welcome to How Is It Manifested? Today, we are exploring the production of a blank book with an infinite number of pages. First, the paper and cardboard for the book's pages and cover are manufactured in a factory. Next, the books are printed and bound, with a special machine that adds an infinite number of pages. Finally, the books are packaged and shipped out to stores. And that's how a blank book with an infinite number of pages is manifested. We're here in the dog egg factory, where we'll take a look at the process of making dog eggs. The eggs are mixed together with other ingredients, such as oils, vitamins, and flavorings, to create the desired consistency and flavor. Once the eggs are fully expanded, they are placed in an oven and baked. And that's how dog eggs are manifested. Welcome to How Is It Manifested, where we explore the production of some of the most interesting products around. Today, we are learning about the process of making giant gummy bears. The first step of the process is to create the core of the gummy bear. This is done in a massive vat, where liquid candy is heated to a specific temperature and then stirred continuously by a robotic arm. The liquid candy is then poured into an array of molds, each shaped to the iconic gummy bear form. The molds are then placed into a cooling chamber and left to set for a few hours. Once the gummy bears have set, they are removed from their molds and placed on a conveyor belt. The conveyor belt carries them to the next stage of the process, coating them with a sugary, crunchy shell. The gummy bears are then fed into a large machine that coats them with the sugary, crunchy shell. This machine is automated, and can produce hundreds of gummy bears in a matter of minutes. Finally, the finished gummy bears are placed in bags and sealed shut, ready for sale. And that's how giant gummy bears are made. This AI, developed by experts in the field, is designed to create proper arms for a variety of uses. The scientists are meticulously coding and debugging the AI's algorithm to ensure that it can accurately draw arms of all shapes and sizes. The engineers are putting the AI's drawings to a real-world test, using 3D printers to create models of the arms and making sure that they are up to safety and functionality standards. After months of work, the AI is finally ready to be tested. With the AI's success, it can now be used to create arms for a variety of purposes, from prosthetics to robotics. Welcome to How Is It Manifested? Today we're taking a look at the production of an empty room with a ticking clock. An empty room with a ticking clock is often used as a metaphor for passing time, symbolizing the inevitability of time's passage. It may also be used in a story to create tension or suspense. The first step in the production of an empty room with a ticking clock is the creation of the components. Here in the factory, a robotic arm is assembling the parts with precision. Next, the components are shipped to a dedicated room to be put together. In this room, the wall is painted white and the clock is hung up. Finally, a large window is installed to overlook a park. The clock is the centerpiece of the room and is set to ticking away. And that's all it takes to create an empty room with a ticking clock. Thanks for joining us on How Is It Manifested? Welcome to How Is It Manifested, where we explore the fascinating process of how everyday items are made. On this episode, we're learning how compasses are produced. The form and function of a compass come together with expert craftsmanship and precision, from the perfectly crafted brass and steel components, to the magnetized needle pointing north, to the beautiful painted body and glass cover. The compass is a timeless tool for adventurers of all kinds. The first step in the process is to create the brass and steel components that form the body of the compass. They have to be precisely crafted and polished to the highest standards. Next, the craftsman assembles the pieces with a magnetized needle, which when placed in the correct position will point towards the north. Finally, the body is painted and the glass cover is placed on top to create a beautiful finished product. And with that, the compass is complete and ready to be used by adventurers everywhere. Welcome to How Is It Manifested, a show that takes you behind the scenes to show you how technology is made. Today, we're looking at the production of a web file. The production of a web file involves writing code and debugging it, so that it can be used to create a small, high-quality image file. Once the code is complete, it can be saved and sent to a server, allowing anyone with an internet connection to access it. A web file is a type of image file that is designed to be extremely small and compressed, while still maintaining a high level of quality. To create such a file, a computer engineer needs to write a special type of code. This code is then tested with a debug tool to ensure that it is working correctly. Once the code is debugged, it can be used to create the web file. The code is then used to create the web file. This process takes a few minutes, but the end result is a very small, high-quality image file. Once the file is complete, the engineer will save it and send it to a server. From there, it can be accessed by anyone with an internet connection. And there you have it, the production of a web file. Thanks for joining us on How Is It Manifested? Until next time. Welcome to How Is It Manifested, the show that focuses on how everyday items are made. In this episode, we will be exploring how the letter E is manifested. The letter E is a versatile symbol that is used in many languages, and is manifested through a combination of digital graphics, printing, cutting and folding to create a distinct and recognizable 3D form. It is a powerful symbol, used to communicate ideas, stories, and emotions, and is a fundamental part of written language. The letter E is a part of the Latin alphabet, and is used in many languages around the world. It is usually written in lowercase form, and has a distinct shape. But how is it manifested? The first step in manifesting the letter E is to create a digital version. This is done using vector graphics software, which allows the letter to be constructed using basic shapes. The next step is to print the letter onto a sheet of paper. This is done using a laser or inkjet printer, which prints in high resolution for a crisp letter E. Once the letter has been printed, it needs to be cut out of the sheet of paper. This is done using a paper cutter, which is able to accurately and quickly cut out the letter E. Finally, the letter E can be folded into a three-dimensional form. This is done by folding the paper along the lines of the letter and creating a 3D shape. And there you have it. The letter E is manifested with a combination of vector graphics software, a printer, a paper cutter and a bit of creative folding. Thanks for watching How Is It Manifested?